समस्त को नमस्कार। ये वीडियो रे आपण देखिए इंटरनेशनल वुमेन्स डे सेलिब्रेशन होता यूनिवर्सिटी लॉ कॉलेज कैंपस भितर जी डीएलएस सेक्रेटरी मैम एवं यूनिवर्सिटी लॉ कॉलेज प्रिंसिपल मिलित उद्योग इवेंट सक्सेसफुल होता इवेंट आमर प्रिंसिपल सर एवं डीएलएस सेक्रेटरी मैम सुंदर भाव एड्रेस करते गर्ल्स को फ्रीडम को एवं कहते गर्ल्स मानकर एम्पावरमेंट एवं गर्ल्स मानकर उन्नति देशर उन्नति हो पार एवं समस्त इक्वल एवं सुंदर सुंदर भाव एडवाइस देते एवं ता सहित स्टूडेंट नेत्री मैंने स्टूडेंट प्रतिनिधि मैंने से भी भाषण रखी एवं सुंदर भाव यहाँ परिचालन करा सहित क्विज कंपटीशन एवं आमर म्यूजिक चेयर कंपटीशन होता एवं विनिंग करथिबा समस्त नेत्री माननकु सेमानकु प्राइज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कराइतला एवं सुंदर भाव इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइज कराइतला यूनिवर्सिटी लॉ कॉलेज कैंपस भितर आ धन्यवाद दे प्रिंसिपल एवं यूनिवर्सिटी लॉ कॉलेज प्रिंसिपल एवं डीएलएस मैम को जे कि ए सुंदर भाव प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज करथिले एवं वुमेन्स डे रे किछि गुड मेसेज एवं अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम वुमेन मान एम्पावरमेंट गोटे इनिशिएटिव नहीं धन्यवाद। संपूर्ण वीडियो बहुत बड़ हो पारे किंतु देखिए इवेंट रे टोटल कौन होता है संपूर्ण इवेंट विटनेसटा वीडियो धन्यवाद।
It's a broad meaning. So having a different context, but here the empower means freedoms, or he or she may be capable to do some things. So in this context, the empowering of the women, so empowering of the women, not only this physical but economical, also intellectual being and human beings. So study says, unless until you will not empower the women, society cannot progress. So empowering of the women, having a benefits, that is number one. Economic is one of the backbone of this country. So once you will empower women, definitely it will impact on this economic conditions of this country. So that is the reason generally countries are trying, most developed countries will find women are completely empowered. So that is the reason they are in this lines of this developed country rather than developing and underdeveloped countries. Next one is discrimination. So discrimination can be eliminated only if you will empower these women. So that inequality, that is gender inequality, that can be eliminated only empowering of these women. Unless until you will not empower these women, you cannot eliminate this gender discrimination of the societies. So poverty, these all can be eliminated. These all can reduce if you will empower these women. And they are equal capable. So they are not. If you look to this family jurisprudence, will find generally what we are saying, the women are equal to the men. No, women are more than this man. The different families did because they are not getting an opportunities. What I say, the freedoms. If you will give equal opportunity to the man and women, definitely they will progress. They are having that much of country. As a biological, they are having a difference with other sex, but they are having a capable equal things. So if you look the historical perspectives of Indian context, we have a Vedic period, post-Vedic periods. Also we find some this during this medieval periods, Vedics and this British rules and the current scenario. So in Vedic periods, you will find women were enjoyed all the freedoms and they were equally treated to this men. Studies by scholars of Europe, Hungary, saying that ancient age women of the India, they were enjoying the freedoms more than this contemporary women of the Europe. That's studies. But during this mid periods or during this post-Vedic periods, the conditions of the women declines. They are controlled by this man. So after arrival of the Aryan, they made up the specific and caste system their minds, and after that both women's dominated by the men's. They have confined with this four wall of the house, and they only cooking and cleaning. Generally things are the assignment that has been given to this women's, for which even though they are giving equal potential, equal work, like in agriculture, crafts, works, they are contributing equal times, everything, but that was not paid to this women's. So that is crushing the financial conditions of this women's to dominate to this women's with this patriarchy systems or this patriarchy mindset by this men. So that has to be eliminated. Unless until you cannot eliminate, unless until you will not give an equal opportunity in education, that is education also restricted. So that is the reason we are not able to do. So education that has to be given up an equal opportunities in education in all fields, and specifically decision making process. So we are not involving the decision making process the parents, though they are having up these equal potentials. So they have to involve in the decision making process, so that a country can grow. Country can and women can empower. So we have to do this. But during the British rule periods, somehow it has been reformed, and some of this, I will tell you, prior to this British period, there was a practice of the systems. But after Lord William Bentinck's, there was specific law that has been made, and that has abolished the sati systems. And child marriage also regulated. Prior to that, child marriage was practicing. And during this Vedic period, there was no dowry system, there was no child marriage, there was no such practice was there. That was not practicing of that way. But during this post-Vedic period, you will find some these things. But after that, after independence, we have, the government has taken up this different schemes, different policies to empower the women, such as Ujala, one of this policy, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. So these are the different policies that has been made for the empowering of the women. As well as also we have reformed different laws. That is sexual harassment at the workplace. You can say next child marriage. We have fixed up this age. Okay, and this evolution of this system that has completely abolished in this societies. So these are the different.
Academic excellence, as said earlier about me. I've just gotten lucky to have qualified, to have gotten projects. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Anyways, I am very glad to see that I have a bunch of lady teachers sitting in front of me on this occasion of International Women's Day. See, there are two sides of the coin. When you say about women empowerment, with great power comes great responsibility. So empowerment is there. We all have. Living in a city like Bhubaneswar, we all have felt that empowerment, and the society is also working towards it. It might not be the same situation in villages, but then in the city like Bhubaneswar, when I came to work in Bhubaneswar, I saw the darker side of the coin. So my appeal to all the ladies and all the working personnel, women officers or women, working women, is that it's okay to feel empowered. You need not show it that we are empowered. We need that empowerment, because once you feel that you are equal to a man, the others will also start to feel. Once you are okay, once you say, once you start grabbing your own rights, others will give you your rights, is what I feel. You need not scream, you need not say, you need not take advantage of the laws, because right now the laws are in our favor. You know it. We all know it. That when you open a book, when you go to a court, even in high court, even in lower court, you must have seen in alimony cases or in maintenance cases, who are the court favoring? The women. That's the hard reality. But is that something that has to be done? I don't think so. I think whoever is right in that situation must be favored. So law is in our favor, everything is in our favor, but we need to be empowered in the right way, is what I really feel. Taking advantage of the laws are not what empowerment really means. For example, let's say you are working in an institution. If you are not happy with the, I'm not favoring the men, taking advantage of the laws and just blatantly filing harassment cases, that is also taking advantage of your position. So I always tell my staff that be careful of the women around you. Anyways, yes, I really wanted to know what really women empowerment means to you on this day. What does it really mean? What do you think? When I'm saying or when you are hearing you need to be empowered? How else do you think you will be empowered? Can anybody let us see, today is a day I'm not going to give any lectures, or I don't want, it will be very fun because right now we will talk and then after we will have a quiz competition. There will be, my staff will tell you how the quiz competition will be held, and then after we will have a musical chair. So we will all participate in a fun way. Today is a day that should be done on a fun way, no boring lectures and everything. So just tell me what does women empowerment mean to you? Sir, what if people are question करेंगे? But the जीवन में आते फिर हम question करेंगे. Question का rightfully भी करा जाए. Understand the thin line between this. But the society is as such किसी freedom का एबे पहुँचने भी women मिल पाए. True for all regions. That is where you need to empower. Job, चाकरी, bottom position, these are all secondary. Let us not confuse ourselves when we are speaking about empowerment with job, with position, with everything. Senata, already women have proved. We do not prove anymore. If a OJS say 55% are women and 45% are men, this is the real statistics. So women have already started proving in all sectors. But how can you empower? Okay, thank you. How can you? This is not, and sadly everybody say mindset अच्छी नहीं है, पूरा dedicated तो है ही नहीं, but improvement भी हो चुका है. That is also accept कि बहुत सारे improvement होते स्थिति में बहुत सारे जीव बावला स्थिति में पार्टी पहुँचेंगी, तंगल family को आपको बड़ों को दिखें, many men also because family nuclear family situation empty, no man is going to marry not working woman. सबू एबे बाहर prospective खोजुଛନ୍ତି कि ना working women भी बाहर कहीं because they have also understood कि हम एका भाई उनको. But I always tell my wherever I go कि the first job we might be as much might be work, but our first and foremost duty would be to nurture a family as a woman. Is that what I feel, my personal feeling? Same is to come a balance our age work. I feel कि we will be empowered. No, I cannot go back to my home with my crown of DLSA and sit in front of my husband or my family. इन्होंने मुझे DLSA मुझे कहीं टोपी पानी लगी. See, I have to take that crown outside of my house and I have to step in as a woman to the more कर्तव्य वाले काम को. That balance is important. Sudha Krishna, very very famous, she has always spoken about this balance. That is what is empowerment. Empowerment हुए कि हम को बड़ा position में बस पर what है हम पर बहुत easy अच्छी बड़ी written harassment letter को आज तक कॉल पर ही नहीं लगी. इसलिए तो मतलब कड़ा व्यवहार करते हैं. But what impact will have on him? Have you ever वो बाहर ही लिया थी. काली को बहुत आसान झगड़ा हिला वो लेके देगी इन्हें मतलब से जबरदस्ती बहाना पूछी 90% of case in court पूछी false पूछी ना पूछी. I'm asking all the women not to men. I'm asking all the women 75% cases rape cases are very sad to say in Bhubaneswar court are false rape cases. How do I know? Because I'm dealing with victim compensation. 75 very easy to say कि harassed. Very easy to say मतलब honest बनना. Very easy to say. See, that is where you lose your empowerment. You don't gain empowerment with that. You lose your empowerment and empowerment for generation to come. Law is in our favor. very careful. Like I said, with great responsibility comes great power comes great responsibility. So empowerment is okay, but in days like International Women's Day, we must speak about how to strike a balance. Sabu achi, sabu jaga ki achi. At your home, when you are teaching your son, what are you teaching? That is important. तमने तो कहीं वो सही जाके तमो पिला को तमे ये करो चल तो वो तो बेसी भर पे वो छोटा कम भर पे that is very good distinction here. You see to women people do that in our department. यदि कोई lady officer सबको बड़ा दुश्मन किए थे वो सिर्फ lady officer. Very rightfully and saying, I can quite well. Even in my department, when the first joined colleague, after the basic harassed from my lady officers, senior lady officers. Not men, men are very nice. Not everybody is nice though. But there are people who are nice. So that is where our empowerment should come. Where it is needed to be spoken, you speak. Where it needed to be spoken to, you speak. No problem. But where it is not necessary, where you think you have your integrity intact, you should keep your integrity. This is what I think. Actually, the student मैंने जाने वाला होता है. Student मैंने ऐसा भाभी मैंने कहा हाँ, अगर तो power अच्छी है, अभी जाके खाना ले लो. ऐसा कर दो, ऐसा कर दो, अच्छी power. तो मैं कोटे थोड़ा जाके लिखी हुआ false power.
Each question there is 1 mark only. But in case there is a tie in the elimination, if multiple marking is there, then the question will be cancelled. So your time starts now. You will be provided with 10 minutes for the question.
Respected Honorables, Srimati Saloni Sahuna, Secretary of District Legal Service Authority, respected teachers, my dear seniors, my lovely batchmates, and my dear juniors. Today I, Jyoti Das, feel immense pleasure and joy to deliver a speech on International Women's Day. But first, I would like to say a very harsh but a truth. If you educate a man, you educate one person. But if you educate a woman, you educate an entire generation. And if you empower a woman, you empower a nation. International Women's Day is generally celebrated on 8th of March each and every year to honor the contribution and the achievements of women in different fields such as mathematics, science, English, literature, art, and many more. To know about its origin, we should move back to the 20th century, where for the first time a lot of women fought against their rights. Rights to get equally paid, right to have equal amount of working hours. From that date, in 1908, for the first time, National Women's Day was celebrated by the United States, and in 1975, United Nations recognized 8th of March as International Women's Day. Women is the epitome of power, strength, resilience, and love, care, and grace. Our ancient history has already set examples of it. When we talk about bravery, we always remember about Rani Lakshmibai, who fearlessly fought battles. When we talk about courage, we always remember about Kalpana Chawla, who reminded us that sky is not the only limit for women. When we remember about education, we always remember about she is a leader who has the capacity to change the world. But yet, after 79 years of independence, women are still fighting for their equal rights. Isn't it sarcastic? We are still here and deliberately saying about what are the rights and what women should do and how her rights should be protected. International Women's Day is not just about celebration, it's about recognition and responsibility. Recognition of the sacrifices the women made and the responsibility to provide her the security so that she can dream freely, succeed proudly, and learn fearlessly. On this day, I would like to say that with this, I would like to end my speech and say that it's not just our responsibility, but it's our duty to protect and safeguard the rights of women, not generally as a male or female, but as human beings. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your empowering words. We have our next speaker, Chira, who wants to share 5 team members. There will be a total of 6 rounds. The first 5 rounds will be normal rounds. I will be asking questions and you have to answer. If you are able to answer the question, options. For every question there is an option. I will be giving you questions with options. Once my question is over, the time will start. The time is stipulated to 30 seconds. If you are unable to answer within 30 seconds, then that will be passed on to the next team. And if that team is able to answer, they will get the bonus mark of 5. The first will be, if that is your question and you are able to answer, then you will be provided with 10 marks. But if that is not your question, that is a past question, the team will get 5 marks for that. That there will be a riddle round. Okay? After the riddle is told, you will be provided with 30 seconds to answer. If you are answering within that, you will be provided with 10 marks. But if you are unable to answer and we are providing you the options, then you will be provided with 5 marks. But there is no pass round in the riddle round. Got it? After every round, there will be an audience round. I will be asking one question to the audience, and who will be able to answer will get some special gift from our respective madam. Okay? So, starting with the first question for group number 1. Please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Please remember your group numbers. The first question for group number 1 is, which section of the PCPNDT Act prohibits sex selection? The options are Section 3B, Section 3A, Section 4, Section 5. Which section of the PCPNDT Act prohibits sex selection? Section 3B, Section 3A, Section 4, Section 5.
They're answering.
Okay, pass.
That's a wrong answer, but pass. 3D option is नहीं. Give the option. Don't there command sex selection को prohibit करा गया. Hospitals में.
Right answer. Group 3, bonus mark of 5.
Option required.
Under the PCPNDT Act, sex selection includes selection of sex. First option, only after conception. Second, only before conception. C, both before and after conception. D, only during pregnancy.
This one is group 2.
Yes, 2.
मुझे लगा ना. If you didn't understand, ask.
Under the PCPNDT Act, sex selection includes selection of sex. First option, only after conception. Second, only before conception. Third, both before and after conception. D, only during pregnancy. time is up. Pass to the next group. Sorry, time is up. Next. First. Can you answer?
Repeat options, repeat for
After conception, before conception,
Both.
both after and before conception, or
Only
during
during
pregnancy. Very easy.
Question for group number 3. Which authority is responsible for granting, suspending or cancelling registration of genetic clinics? A. District Judge. B.
Which authority is responsible for granting, suspending, cancelling and registration of genetic clinics? The options are district judge, second option appropriate authority, third medical council, fourth health secretary. Understand? Act के कौन है? District judge, appropriate authority, medical council, health secretary. Right?
Right answer.
Right.
Right answer.
Next thing.
Next question for group number of PCPNDT. Prenatal diagnostic techniques may be conducted only for detecting first, genetic abnormalities, second, metabolic disorders, third, chromosomal abnormalities, D, all of the above.
Prenatal diagnostic techniques का कौन conduct करे, कौन सा detect करेगा? Genetic abnormalities, metabolic disorders, chromosomal abnormalities, all of the above.
Sorry.
Correct.
5 for group number. Which section prohibits communication of the sex of the fetus in PCPNDT Act? Section 5, Section 6, Section 22, Section 23.
Communication sex विषय qualify करनी, वो gender contact, वो section में अच्छी, of the fetus. 5, 6, 22, 23. किसी ने किसी पढ़ा ही नहीं.
Answer. Question passed to group number 1.
वो answer देना. 5, 6,
The options are Section 4, Section 5, sorry,
section 5,
Section 5, Section
actually
6,
22 gone.
22,
Only
23.
23 the option. Go.
তুমি ছাড়ি দেবো দাও দাও না
Read that out, please. Read that out, please.
না না এই আমার
Read that out, please. Actually, option was complete.
Audience, anyone?
কম্পাক আসবে
Conducting prenatal diagnostic technique is required under which section? Section 4, Section 5, Section 7, Section 10.
Written consent के section में तुक्का मारो. जाने section में
30 সেকেন্ড ভিতরে চুপ
अर्पिता.
Written consent of the pregnant woman before conducting prenatal diagnostic techniques is required under Section 4, 5, 7, and 10.
Time's up.
Time.
Next. Next option है. Read it our audience.
Audience.
Important question. Written consent का वो section में लिखा है जी. Very important section. 5. Next.
So question for group number 2. Who can file a complaint for offences under the PCPNDT Act? Any police officer, appropriate authority, any person after giving 15 days notice to appropriate authority, both B and C. Right answer. Under the Act, advertisement relating to sex determination is prohibited under which section? Section 21, Section 22, Section 23, Section 25.
Advertisement is prohibited relating to sex determination. So, depends on hospital में बोर्ड वाली ला. Can count वाला? 23.
Section 21, 22, 23, 25. The first offence punishment for medical practitioners under the PCPNDT Act may extend to: first, 2 years imprisonment and 5,000 rupees fine, 3 years imprisonment and 10,000 rupees fine, 5 years imprisonment and 50,000 rupees fine, 1 year imprisonment and 2,000 rupees fine.
Remember, वो यहाँ पे PCPNDT Act as well. Then you will get the answer. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 1 year. Next.
Wrong answer. Wrong answer. Anyone from the audience?
Very good. Very good.
Which of the following institution must be registered under the PCPNDT Act? First, genetic counseling centers. Second, genetic laboratories. Third, genetic clinics. D, all of the above. Right. Of the District Legal Services Authority.
District future legal district judge. Yes, yes. ना पूरा designation का नाम. Honorable district judge. Session judge. District judge. High court judge. Yes.
Please come forward.
सब मूर्खटा
As a judicial or quasi-judicial body to act within its authority. First, prohibition. Second, mandamus. C, quo warranto. D, habeas corpus.
Compels a judicial or quasi-judicial body to act within its authority.
Prohibition, mandamus.
It is correct. Option number 1. You should know it.
कही दो चार्ज कही दो
Next prohibition. What?
Right answer. Prakash versus Pulavati. Vinita Sharma versus Rakesh Sharma. Mary Roy versus State of Kerala. Geeta Hariharan versus Reserve Bank of India. Seema versus Ashwani Kumar. Right answer. For group number. In Daniel Latifi versus Union of India, maintenance must be provided. First, only during Iddat period. Second, only for 1 year. C, reasonable and fair provision for future. D, only till remarriage. Reasonable and fair provision for right answer. Now moving to group number is Imran Khan. Maintenance was allowed under A, Section 125 CRPC. B. Section 24 of Hindu Marriage Act. 3. Section 36 of the Special Marriage Act. D. Section 25 of the Hindu Marriage. Option A. Section 125 of the CRPC. Right answer. In Municipal Corporation of Delhi versus Female Workers, the maternity benefits were extended to: first, permanent workers only; second, contract laborers; C, daily wage workers; D, only government employees. Yes, in Municipal Corporation of Delhi versus Female Workers, maternity benefits were extended to: A, permanent workers only; B, contract laborers; C, daily wage workers; D, only government employees. Right answer. 1. In Air India versus Nagesh Mirza, what was challenged? First, equal pay; second, retirement conditions for air hostesses; C, sexual harassment; D, promotion policy.
Answer is in the question. Use your logic.
Retirement condition for air hostesses.
आउथर क्वेश्चन लेके पढ़ दें आउथर क्वेश्चन
In Air India versus Nagesh Mirza, what was challenged? Equal pay, retirement condition for air hostesses, sexual harassment, or air hostesses? Right answer. In Secretary, Ministry of Defence versus Babita Punia, the issue related: first, equal pay; second, permanent commission for women in army; third, pension rights; D, combat training. Right answer. In Union of India versus Lieutenant Cadre Annie Nagaraja, women officials were granted: first, retirement benefits; B, permanent commission; C, combat training; D, pension parity. In Union of India versus Lieutenant Colonel Annie Nagaraja, women officers were granted: A, retirement benefits; B, permanent commission; C, combat training; D, pension parity.
अरे भाई
Time up. Next. Sorry. Permanent commission. Wrong answer. Okay. Anyone? Versus Chandigarh administration, the Supreme Court recognized: first, right to education; second, right to reproductive choice; third, right to adoption; D, right to marriage. Right. Now question for Health and Family Welfare Department. Abortion rights were extended to: first, married women only; second, unmarried women also; C, only rape victims; D, only minors. Unmarried women also. Right. Application should normally be fixed under I am talking about PWDB Act only. First, 3 days; second, 7 days; C, 10 days; D, 15 days. Wrong answer, pass. Wrong answer. Anyone from the audience? Wrong answer.
First, after filing application, can be without hearing about 15 days.
TWTV Act is a welfare legislation. Okay. And in the welfare legislation, if there is any domestic violence and someone, there may be an urgency of the matter. If we take, yes, for that, the time period is 3 days. The next question for group number 2. The magistrate shall endeavor to dispose of the application within first 30 days, second 60 days, third 90 days, the 120 days. Within how many days the application should be disposed? Next.
Yes.
Right. Number 3. The next question for group number 3. The Supreme Court widened the meaning of shared household. In which case? First, Eswar Batra versus Taruna Batra. B. Satish Chandra Ahuja versus Neha Ahuja. C. Indra Sharma versus V.K.V. Sharma. D. Rajneesh versus Neha.
Shared household meaning the
Eswar Batra, Taruna Batra, Satish Chandra. Was given in which case? First, Satish Ahuja versus Neha Ahuja. Second, Eswar Batra versus Taruna Batra. C. Indra Sharma versus V.K.V. Sharma. D. Rajneesh versus Neha. Satish Ahuja, Neha Ahuja, Eswar Batra, Taruna Batra. Group number 5. The question is, the restrictive interpretation of shared household was given in which case? Satish Ahuja case, Eswar Batra case, Indra Sharma case, Rajneesh versus Neha case. Right answer. Fundamental right. Under Article 21 of the Indian Constitution, in which case? First is Husainara Khatun versus State of Bihar, MH Hokso versus State of Maharashtra, Madhu Mehta versus Union of India, Rudal Shah versus State of Bihar. Right answer.
Live with a husband or partner. Even if the house is not in her name, the law still protects her right to stay there. I am a place where woman has lived with a husband or partner. Even if the house is not in her name, the law still protects her right to stay here. Marital out soon. Who act upon the right. I am a place where a woman has lived with a husband or partner, but it is not in her name. But the law still protects her right to stay. You need option, option 1. Shelter home, shared household, matrimonial property, family residence. Can you tell me about actually 5 marks goes to me. Next. Ready? I stand between the victim and the abuser. The magistrate gives me power to stop violence and contact. I am something that is between the victim and the abuser, and it is given by the magistrate just to stop violence and contact. What legal shield am I? What legal shield am I? Do you need option? अमेरिका थांतो सेटा कोन ऑर्डर लिखा कहबेरो बहुत तो सुनतो कि देखि सब Next, file complaints, get medical help, shelter and legal aid. I am helping the aggrieved woman to do all this above. Complaint file paper, get medical help, shelter and legal aid. I work with the victim, I work with the magistrate and police under the act. Who am I? I help the aggrieved woman to file complaints. Get medical help, shelter and legal aid. Legal aid को आसी ना don't point. I am not accepted. Options. Social worker, protection officer, public prosecutor, legal aid lawyer. Social worker. Wrong. This protection officer. Staff or a legal aid person. Next. Are you ready? Fifth one. I allow women to claim money for expenses, loss and injury caused by domestic violence. The magistrate may grant me as a financial relief. What am I called? Out the I allow women to claim money for expenses, loss and injury caused by domestic violence.
Maintenance.
The magistrate may grant me as a financial relief for the expense of loss and injury. Options: maintenance order, monetary relief, property relief, civil damages. Wrong. Maintenance order के पढ़ाई करता है. और क्वेश्चन पे. Day. The injury or loss पे कब किया जाए? So monetary relief, kind of a compensation. The other name of compensation is the monetary. Okay.